Donald Trump on the trail now. Trump catching flack as he sticks to claims about New Jersey Muslims cheering on September 11th. Also taking heat for apparently making fun of a reporter. Fox News media analyst Howard Kurtz is the host of Media Buzz. Howie, good day to you. Saturday night, Sarasota. This is what Trump said. He doesn't make fun of anybody. Watch.
All of a sudden, I found that I was mocking somebody. The person has a disability. And the person said, I know him, but and I said, when? In the 1980s. The 1980s. Believe me, I don't know. I don't mock people. I don't mock people that have problems. I don't mock people that have problems, believe me.
You've got that story that is linked to the Muslims on September 11th, and the story goes on and on and on. But today, Howard, where is this story now?
Well, Trump is on the defensive, and the only reason I'm inclined to take him at his word that he wasn't openly mocking Serge Kovaleski of the New York Times, who has interviewed him a number of times and has a very visible disability, a limited use of his arms, is because Donald Trump is not dumb, and he had to know if he was doing that, he would get called on it. But this is classic Trump, Bill. We have Trump going a bit too far with his rhetoric, talks about the celebrating Muslims on 9/11 in New Jersey. Nobody's been able to find this tape. Then he gets whacked by the press. Then he hits back at the press and demands an apology, all of which keeps it going, all of which makes us in the news business say, boy, he's got some problems, but his fans, his supporters, the people who love him, they don't trust the media, and when he comes under fire like this, there's a boomerang effect, and it ends up helping him.
Chuck Todd got into it with him on Sunday about words matter. And Howard, I think your point is well taken. I mean, oftentimes you think he's backed into a corner and he fights his way out time and again. I mean, is there any reason to think that he won't again this time?
I don't see any reason in that confrontation between Chuck Todd of Meet the Press and Donald Trump. You could see the frustration. It was kind of symbolic of media people who feel like we keep pointing things out that we think are inaccurate that Donald Trump says, and yet we can't pin him down. He doesn't seem to suffer any price for it. At the same time, it seems to me that Trump, uses his media mastery to keep these things alive because it helps him. Here we are 7, 8, 9 days after he first made that claim about Muslims in New Jersey. We're still talking about him. We're still talking about his campaign, and he's still 5 months now leading in the polls. Well,
the other point on that is that the other candidates are constantly asked about Trump, as was the case on ABC with John Kasich. Watch.
You say he won't get the nomination?
No.
What if he does? Will you support him?
He's not going to.
But,
so, we're not even going to go there. But I tell you this.
So would you support him, Governor Kasich, if he is the Republican nominee, after what you've just said about him?
I think he's very divisive, and I do not believe he will last, Martha. It's just not going to happen, Martha. And everybody needs to get over it and take a deep breath.
Howard, as a media reporter, when you see this line of questioning over and over and over again, what does it do to the story? What does it do to his campaign?
Well, it puts every other Republican on the defensive. And I've asked some of these presidential candidates, Chris Christie the other day, about Donald Trump and how he seems to dominate this campaign. They're all in a box because they've all pledged to support the eventual Republican nominee, yet some of them can only get oxygen by criticizing Donald Trump or deflecting questions about Donald Trump, which means that you and I and much of the media are still talking about Donald Trump. And in addition, Bill, you have the New York Times editorial page accusing Trump of racist lies, the Washington Post editorial page calling him a bully, and he's running an ugly campaign. All of this is sort of a badge of honor for Trump, but it does put these other candidates who are trying to get in a more competitive position in these early states in a box. They don't want to just talk about Trump, but that seems to be the only way they can grab a headline.
They've got to answer it and move on. Howie, thank you for your time. We'll see what happens today.
Good to see you, Bill.
A whole new week. Good to have you, Howard.